Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a series of short-term and long-term investments. And if you guys have checked out my last month's investment video, we focused on the long term. In this particular video, we're going to be doing a mix of both. Mainly because even if there isn't any Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's not going to stop people from buying cards. There are some really good short-term investment cards that can almost see dividends immediately, and then there's still some cards that people are sleeping on that over time will be really expensive. In this video, I'm going to give you a guide of cards you should buy before they skyrocket in price. It's always good to know before it happens. So of course, if you guys want to see more videos like this, then make sure you destroy that subscribe button, but also be sure to hit that notification bell if you want to stay strong. It feels really weird doing that again. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start talking about some of these awesome cards and why I think these cards will go up in price. The first card is a low risk, high return investment. In the way that trends happen, typically no matter what, a new strategy will always receive attention. Sublimation Knight is a card that is amazing for the new Fire Ignoble strategy, mainly because this card is a one-card ESOL. I mean, regardless, even outside of the Flame Noble Knight strategy, this card's still a one-card ESOL, and while ESOL isn't competitive right now, this is a video explaining the future. ESOL's an amazing card, it can be competitive in the future. With that in mind, Sublimation Knight sits at a low price of 49 cents. When I said that it was low risk, this card was genuinely low risk. It is a super rare in the Toon Chaos set, meaning that it is a little easier to pull. But for the players that completely ignored Toon Chaos thinking that it wasn't a competitive set, make them crawling back to this card because it is highly sought after for one of the more competitive decks. Now you do have to be mindful that Toon Chaos is receiving 2 more printings, but that isn't going to change this card's long-term formula. I can see the max price of this card being about $5, but that will be years on in the future when Toon Chaos is out of print. Right now, if those Flame Boys become uberly competitive, I see this card having a max price point of $2, which is still quadruple the amount that you spent on it, so it's a pretty good investment. Speaking of good warrior decks, if you're in for the risk, and by the only risk I mean if this card gets another print in the same rarity, you're screwed, but other than that, you're a-okay. Reinforcement of the Army is a prime candidate of a card you should buy before it skyrockets. Reinforcement of the Army is the closest thing you are going to get to a staple card in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. And I do use that term staple loosely because of how complex the card game has become. I mean, there's no competitive decks currently that run this card. Reinforcement of the Army still qualifies as one of those must-have cards for certain strategies, because if you are playing a strategy that wants to search a level 4 or warrior monster, Reinforcement of the Army only increases your chances. Now we're going to ignore the supers and the common versions of Reinforcement of the Army. This card currently only has 1 ultra rare print at $5. Why is that so low for a card that only has 1 printing in the highest rarity? Reinforcement of the Army also comes in parallel rare for about $16 a pop. Both of those are considered the highest rarity of Reinforcement of the Army, and though I do know players that would prefer the ultra over the parallel rare, I also know vice versa. I think Reinforcement of the Army has a cap out at about $20 a pop for the ultra rare, and the parallel rare feels like the sky is the limit. This could easily be a $40 to $60 card due to the fact that it's never going to be printed as this type of rarity ever again. A generic spell searcher card that is currently limited on the Forbidden List, this card is a gold mine. Reinforcement of the Army will be expensive. Now the current new set that is out is Legendary Duelist Season 1, and I would be foolish just to ignore all of the nostalgia, but more importantly the good cards that are in it. One of the cards in Season 1 is Toon Table of Contents, and this card is really cheap right now. A hollow printing of Toon Table of Contents, no matter what color you get, is sitting at about $2. I think that this is really low, and it doesn't matter how many times Toon Table of Contents gets reprinted, I don't think it'll be a letter rare hollow card ever again. And while Toons may have dropped the ball in competitive relevancy, that doesn't stop Toon Table of Contents from being a relevant card. It searches itself, and then it searches a Toon world after it finished searching itself. There are plenty of strategies that have been spell-heavy reliant or reliant on Toon Table of Contents in the past. To name a few, there are FTK decks, Spellbook, Sky Striker, and of course, how can I forget Magical Musketeers? All of them at one point in time heavily relied on Toon Table of Contents, and there's definitely going to be strategies in the future that will take advantage of this card. I can see the hollow Toon Table of Contents with any colored lettering jumping up to $5 easily, and then the max price of this card jumping to about $15 because everybody likes unique things, and in theory, the only way to get a Toon Table of Contents this color was from this set that not a lot of people bought. A card that kind of fell flat on its face is Chaos Space. Face Space. Face Space. Chaos Space is a pretty good card. Discarding a light or dark monster allows you to search a light or dark monster that cannot be normal or summoned or set from your deck to your hand. That's a -1, but the card actually makes up for it by allowing you to shuffle a banished monster that cannot be normal, summoned, or set to the bottom of your deck and drawing a card. Chaos Space's biggest problem right now is that there's not a lot of decks that can utilize it. The chaos days of strategies are over. Splashing a Blackluster Soldier or a Chaos Sorcerer in a strategy doesn't necessarily make it stronger, but that doesn't mean that Chaos Space should be a forgotten card. It currently sits at $4 a pop and may go even lower with the unlimited print of Toon Chaos and a second run of the first ed versions of this card. In other words, I'm telling you, you could wait just a little longer to pick this card up. If we are to deny the competitive viability or the future competitive viability of Chaos Space, then we'd be foolish. And if the only printing of this card is in the Toon Chaos set, we might have some problems. I can see Chaos Space becoming a $10 card at the very lowest, and in a format where a Chaos deck is prevalent, it could be a lot more. Keep in mind, there's also the new Chaos Rares inside of the Toon Chaos set. That version of the card is in a whole nother level. I think investing in Chaos Spaces when no one cares about them is the perfect thing, because later on down the line, yeah, people will be begging to get them back. I mean, and let's face it, everyone's a stand for Chaos decks. This card will eventually go up even if the deck isn't good. The last card is a very low risk, but a very huge investment. You remember those Chaos Rares I was telling you guys about? Yeah, I think that Chaos Blackluster Soldier and Chaos Stardust Dragon both should be bought before they skyrocket in price. For Blackluster Soldier, this is easily the highest rarity version of this card has ever had, and it's a nostalgia card. How would you not? Like, seriously, it's $400 for a Blackluster Soldier, but in the long run, about 10 years from now, oh yeah, Blue Eyes DDS style treatment. I could be in over my head. Collectors may just want that invasion of chaos printing, but I think it's a safe bet to actually get a collector's rare. Why have I been calling it Chaos Rare? Well, now that I remember that it is a collector's rare, I would definitely pick up some BLSs if you can. This card can be in the $1,000 range in some time. It's an investment. It's a really big investment. As for Stardust Dragon, we know that the Duelist Genesis first ed Stardust Dragons were about $1,500, but the crazy thing about Stardust Dragon is that Ghost Rares Unlimited are roughly around the same price as a collector's rare Stardust Dragon in the $200, $300 price range. Now, I can see Stardust Dragon still jumping to that $1,000 mark very, very long in the future. So this is a huge investment and takes a very long time, but if you look at it, huge investments like this never paid off immediately. That's just how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. Well, that's all I have for the cards you guys should buy before they skyrocket in price. I want you guys to post down below in the comment section what are some other cards people may be sleeping on. Maybe it's a long-term investment, maybe it's a short-term investment. Regardless, go ahead and let us know. Also, if you want to check out these awesome videos, that would be great because I'll catch you on the next video.